they weren't, like, hitting on him.
As long as they weren't doing it in front of him.
Yeah. So, do you get the impression that he knew other gay people?
I'm sure he knew other people that are gay. I mean, he worked at the KFC and a couple people up there. And I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I mean, half the people I know in Laramie are gay.
Yeah.
What would you say to him if you saw him right now?
First of all, I'd ask him if he'd ever do any more tweak.
But, I mean, I'd just be like, man, why did you fuck up like that? I mean, but of course I just want to see if he's doing good in there, you know, which I'm sure he is, but I just want to, like, hang out with him.
I'm gonna smoke a bowl with him.
Yeah, I bet he wants something so bad.
You guys both went to Laramie High?
Can't you tell? We're a product of our society. On a day that is traditionally given over to nothing more profound than collegiate exuberance and the fortunes of the Wyoming football team, this community on the High Plains had a different kind of homecoming Saturday, as many searched their souls in the wake of a vicious, apparent anti-gay hate crime.
University President Philip Dubois.
This was homecoming weekend, and there were a lot of people in town, and there was a homecoming parade that was scheduled, and the students organized a tag on the back of it, behind the banner supporting men, everybody wearing the armbands that the students had created.
I live in the center of town.
Harry Woods.
And my house has two windows on opposite sides of the street. One goes north and one goes south, and that's exactly the homecoming day parade route. Now, on the day of the parade, I had a cast on my leg because of a fall, so I was very disappointed that I couldn't join the parade, but I watched from my window. And well, I'm 52 years old, and I'm gay, and I've seen a lot. And I was just very moved when I saw the tag at the homecoming day parade. About 100 people walking for Matthew Shepard. And then when the parade went around the corner to make a U-turn, I went to the other side of my apartment to watch it come south down the other street.
I was right up there in the front where they were holding the banner for Matthew. And I gotta tell you, I've never had goosebumps for so long in my life. It was this mass of people, with mothers holding their 6-year-old kids, tying the armbands around the kid, and just trying to explain to them why they're supposed to be wearing this armband. It was just one of the most incredible things I've done in my whole life.
So about 10 minutes went by, and sure enough, the parade started coming, and then I noticed the most incredible thing. The number of people walking for Matthew Shepard had increased 5 times. There must have been 500 people walking. 500 people, can you imagine? And then people just kept joining in. And you know what? I started to cry. Tears were just streaming down my face, and I thought to myself, thank God I got to see this in my lifetime. My second thought was, thank you, Matthew.
I haven't been all that involved, per se. My husband's a highway patrolman, so that's really the only way I've known about it now. When I first heard about it, I just thought it was awful. I can't. No one deserves that. I don't care who you are. But the other thing that was not brought up, at the same time that happened, that highway patrolman was killed. And there was nothing. They didn't say anything about the old man who killed him. He was driving down the road, and he shouldn't have been driving, and killed him. It was just a little piece in the paper, and we lost one of our guys. My husband worked with him. This man was brand new on the force. But, I mean, here's one of ours, and it's just a little piece in the paper. And part of it is my understanding and my feeling that the media is portraying Matthew Shepard as a saint and making him as a martyr. And I don't think he was. I don't think he was that pure. Now, I didn't know him, but some of the things I heard about him, it's scary. Things about his character and and spreading AIDS and other things, you know, being the type of person that he was. He was just a barfly, and I think he pushed himself around. I think he flaunted it. Everybody's got problems, but why they exemplified him, I don't know. What's the difference if you're gay? I hate crime. If you murder somebody, you hate him. It doesn't matter if you're gay or a prostitute or whatever. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Company member Lee Fontaine.
This is one of the last days on our second trip to Laramie. Greg and I have been conducting interviews non-stop, and we are exhausted.
We are to meet Father Rogers at 7:30 in the morning. I was wishing we could skip the whole thing altogether, but we have to follow through with it to the end. So here we go, 2 queers and a Catholic priest.
Matthew Shepard has served us well. You realize that? He has served us well. And I do not mean to condemn Matthew to perfection, but I truly cannot mention anyone who has done more for this community than Matthew Shepard. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I was just this bold guy. No fear. I was scared. I was very vocal in this community when this happened. I thought, should we call the bishop, ask his permission to hold the vigil? But then I thought, hell no. I'm not going to do that. His permission does not make it correct. And I'm not knocking bishops, you realize that. But what is correct is correct. You people are out here on a search, though. I will do this. I will trust you people that if you do write a play of this, that you say it right. Say it correct. I believe that you have a responsibility to do that. Don't make matters worse. You think violence is what they did to Matthew. They did do violence to Matthew. But you realize that every time you're called a fag, every time you're called a les or whatever,
Or a dyke.
A dyke, yeah. That is the seed of violence. And I would resent it immensely if you used anything that I say to somehow cultivate that type of violence. You need to know that.
Thank you, Father, for saying that.
Just deal with what is true. You know what is true. You need to do your best to say it correct.
Andrew Gomez.
I was in there. I was in jail with Aaron in December. I got thrown in over Christmas. Assault and battery, 2 counts. But I don't want to talk about that. So, anyway, we're sitting there, eating our Christmas dinner. My little roll, my motherfucking stuffing and whatnot. And I said to him, yo, homie, tell me something. Tell me something, please. Okay, I'm trying to think about how I worded it. Why did you kill a faggot if you're going to be destined to be a faggot later? I mean, think about it. He's either going to get humped a lot or he's going to die. I don't get it. And you know what he told me? Honest to God, that's what he said. He trying to grab my balls. He's dumb, dog. He needed to act like it was nothing. And now I heard they was auctioning those boys up there in Maxwell. You know where the killers go. Now once I heard Aaron was going to prison, it was auctioning the shit out of him. I want him. I'll put aside 5, 6, 7 cartons of cigarettes, auction his ass off. I'd be scared to go to prison if I was those 2 boys. Hello?
Hi, my name is Amanda Gronich. I believe your wife told you a little bit about why I'm contacting you?
Yes, she did. And let me tell you, I don't think I want to talk to anyone about this incident. I am someone involved, and I just don't think...
Right, I understand completely. I went to your service on Sunday.
You went to my services on Sunday?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Yes, on Sunday.
Did I meet you?
Yeah, you greeted us at the beginning, I believe.
I see. Well, let me tell you, I'm not afraid to be controversial to speak my mind, but that is not necessarily the views of my congregation per se. Now, as I said, I am someone involved, that the people in the case, well, the girlfriend of the accused is a member of our congregation, and the accused has visited. Now, Those two people, the accused, we've been after them for ages, trying to get them to live right, to do right. Now one boy is on suicide watch and I'm working with him. Until they put him in the chair and turn on the juice, I will work for his salvation. Now I think they deserve the death penalty, but until then, I will try to deal with them spiritually.
Of course.
Now as for the victim, I know that lifestyle is legal, but I will tell you one thing. I hope that Matthew Shepard, as he was tied to that fence, he had a chance to reflect on a moment when someone had spoken the word of the Lord to him. And before he slipped into a coma, he had time to reflect on his lifestyle.
Right. Thank you, Reverend, for speaking with me.
So, about 11:30 that night, I just barely got to bed and got a call. And it was from Margot, our chief operating officer, and she said his blood pressure began to drop. So I said, let's wait and see. And she called me about 10 after. He just died. So I quick got dressed, and I came in, and I went into the ICU where the family was, and Judy was there. She just came up to me, and she put her arms around me, and I just put my arms around her, and we just stood there, honestly, for 10 minutes, because what else do you do? Look, Dennis, this is public knowledge now. So we just sat down and we just talked about things. And Judy told me what she wanted me to say, and I went out at 4:00 a.m.
Matthew Shepard medical update, Monday, October 12th, 4:30 a.m.
At 12 midnight, October 12th, Matthew Shepard's blood pressure began to drop. We immediately contacted the family at this time who were already at the hospital. At 12:53, Matthew Shepard died. His family released the following statement. They again asked me to express their sincerest gratitudes toward the American public for the overwhelming response for their son. The family was grateful that they did not have to make a decision regarding whether to continue life support. Like a good son, he removed guilt or stress from the family. Matthew came into this world premature and left this world premature. Matthew's mother said, go home, hug your kids, and don't let a day go by without telling them how much you love them. I don't know what happened, how I just lost it on national television. Well, we've been up for 72 hours and I've gone home and gone to bed for half an hour and come back in, and it's just being up there and reading that statement. I just saw my own $4 and how she doesn't have hers anymore. Just up there thinking this is so lame. And then we started getting these emails and these letters, and most of them were very kind. But we got this one guy. He said, you cry on TV for all your patients or just the faggots. And like I told you, homosexuality is not a lifestyle in which I agree with, but being thrown into this, I just couldn't understand the magnitude in which some people hate. And I just thought how much this hurt me. And we got, out of all the letters, there were at least 2 or 3 like that. But most of them were, thank you for your caring and compassion, and Matthew had caring and compassion from the moment he got here.
I spoke with Doc O'Connor today, and I told him that we would soon be returning to Laramie
for the upcoming trials of Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson. And this is what he had to say. Those two boys get put to death. It would defeat the purpose of everything that Matt would have been thinking about on them. Matt would not have wanted those two boys to die. He'd want to leave them with hope. H-O-P-E. Just like how the whole world was hoping that Matthew was going to survive. You see, this whole thing, the whole thing ropes around hope. H-O-P-E.